Today we're going to be changing the differential oil in the front of the Dana 30 axle on our Jeep 95 YJ. And I'm going to be putting on a new little differential skid guard I got from Rugged Rigid. Yep. So we're going to see how that goes, and we're going to first look at all the tools it's going to take you. So even though I'm on level ground, I'm going to block the back tires just for safety's sake. You can see I have a pit in my garage. That's pretty nice. You need a lead light so you get your area lit up nice. Now, even though this seems like a straightforward job, man, I got a lot of stuff set up. I got an oil pan to catch the oil. I got a old 5-gallon container here. That's where I put the used oil. I got some new oil, and I got another can if I need it, but I'm using 80 W by 90 gear oil. I like these lube blocker gaskets. I have a newfangled contraption. I don't know how this is going to work, but it has a lid on it and a tube and a stopper, so maybe that'll make the oil go in easier. Of course, some nice rubber gloves, because that oil is nasty stuff. When I put it back together, of course, I have a little 3/8 drive here. You need that for your drain plug to get it out and then back in. I like to put anti-seize on the bolts. I have another tube of this if I need it. Need a screwdriver, of course a wrench, and some sockets. That's a 1/2-inch socket. And of course over there I got my new skid differential guard that we'll be putting on. We're going to loosen up all our 1/2-inch bolts. Now I could use my air hammer, but I kind of like not to use that sometimes. And they're going to come off easy because I've had this off a couple years ago and I used anti-seize on it. So we'll be back after a while. So what we like to do is get this bottom bolt loosened up and maybe a 1/4 inch out, and then the top one loose. And of course we're going to have on our nice rubber gloves. These things are really something you can't live without. And then we're going to try just to knock out, get a little screwdriver in here. Not going to be easy, of course. There it comes. And leave that drain. We kept that bolt in there because we don't want it all to come out at once and make a big mess. So the next step here is, got the cover off. Use an old rag to clean the inside of the lid out, the cover. And what I have here is a can of brake cleaner. Now this stuff does wonders to help clean out old grease and stuff. So we'll be giving it a coat of that and helping it to kind of get some of the extra stuff to come out. So I got this all cleaned out. Sprayed brake fluid up there, about 1/2 can worth. And now's a good time just to check around to see if your gears look okay. And mine, they're looking fine. And we wipe that bottom out good with a rag. There's a little hole there underneath the gear, kind of a, you got to make sure you get that out too. So these little black torque head bolts came with my new skid plate here, and you can see it's not thin. It's about, I don't know, a little over an 1/8 inch thick, I guess. And so here's my original bolts, and what I do, I'm going to replace with these stainless bolts that are 3/4 inch long, and they're the same length of the ones that came with it. So that's what we're going to do. So we got our new skid plate on, a lube locker gasket, of course. The bolts tightened down, but we did have some problems on this side. I had to take my little Dremel tool and shave off a little bit of that notch there so I could get that one bolt in. They use smaller torque head bolts. Probably why I didn't want to use those damn things. So anyway, we got it without too much trouble. We're ready to fill her up. So I got my old gasket. I used kind of paper gasket, I guess you call it, the last time. And it looks in good enough shape that I'm going to put it back in my box and just take this, kind of put it in my trail box for a spare part, just in case. The other thing, I bought this fancy dancy funnel at has a cap on the end and a cap on top, and I bought that at O'Reilly's, but after I got down under there, shit ain't gonna work. So going back to my proven method where I have a hose, it's a clear hose, it runs all the way up to the top, and I'll just pour in from there, and that works real well. Well, we got it all back together and the tools all picked up. Still have the sticker to put on, but yeah, the differential skid plate, it was more of a job than we thought.